you don't know that you feel bad until you feel better. And I mean, I learned that over the course of the years with eliminating certain foods, participating in this experience with Stark. Naked certainly was part of that. And it's interesting because I used to tease some of the trainers and coaches that I've worked with over the years, about Grace gets some kind of like an incentive if I hit a PR or something because they want so hard for me to do the pull up or to do the, I'm not trying to win. I kept telling them, I'm not trying to win any contests. I'm just trying to do the things. But as a result of going through this experience with Stark, I've been telling Eunice now, my goal is like, I just want to get stronger. I do want to get stronger. I've never had the experience of, I need to, or I would like to have the satisfaction of completing a pull-up unassisted. So that is something that I think could absolutely be a goal for me at this point. I just want to get stronger.
I'm Todd, Vande, CEO of Stark, and I've gone from vegan to paleo to keto to carnivore, from cryosaunas to ice baths, to training like an athlete to being injured like one, enhancing my mobility and optimizing my sex hormones with thousands of labs and various forms of scans. I'm surrounded by high-level medical doctors, naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, nutritionists, and strength coaches, all leading me in concert to a state of optimal health. And I'm here to share that journey with you regardless of your age, your genes, or your medical conditions. Today, I'm sitting down with Regan Phillips, the CEO of CASA of Orange County. CASA, which stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, is a nonprofit that provides children in the foster care system with one stable, consistent adult person to help guide them through some of the most chaotic and oftentimes most painful systems in our country. That one relationship, it absolutely changes everything. Regan is an attorney by trade, a powerful leader in the nonprofit space, a mother, a wife, and this year, a competitor in the 2025 Stark Naked Health Competition. And not only did she step into the spotlight, she thrived in. Today, we're going to dive into what that journey looked like for her physically, emotionally, and mentally, and how it impacted her leadership, her family, and most importantly, CASA's mission. Thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait I know bits and pieces of your health journey, and I'm grateful that you're willing to sit here and share those with me and millions of listeners. And I would love to have you share as much as you're comfortable with, not because I'm nosy, but because I think your story is an uncommon one, and your journey into your menopausal years is a common story, but your experience in heading into it is not. So you've been with us for how many years now?
7 years.
Has it been that long?
7 years.
You were just a baby.
I was just a baby. It was an incredible gift, one that I was never have actively solicited for myself, as you will continue to hear me share. But the absolute best gift that I've ever received was coming here and learning how to take care of myself. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
But the journey hasn't been the same the whole way through.
No.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning. You're 40-ish years old, and you're new to the whole health thing, and you probably had a gym membership at some point, or
no
Pilates or yoga or something.
Certainly growing up, I was active. I was a dancer. I started running a little bit during my early adult years. I don't think I was a good runner, but I liked the idea of having some cardio, but that was really it. I did have a gym membership at one point, and
typical American gym ownership membership ownership?
No, I lived in New York for a couple of years, and they had a gym in my building. So It was one of those, right? And I will tell you, I was the kind of person that would walk in there with great ambitions and thoughts about what I was going to do. And then, probably right out because I didn't know how to use the equipment. I was intimidated by looking foolish or not knowing what I was doing. And I'd never been properly taught how to do any of these things, or very minimal experience using any kind of equipment. So I would gravitate towards treadmill or something that felt a little bit more manageable. And I also just like the idea of getting outside and running or going for a walk if that was possible. So no, I was not experienced at all, any of these things. And had I not had someone very intentionally walking me through the process and showing me, like you would a small child, how to do these things, I don't know that I ever would have actively, gone for it. I can remember starting here, and I think it took me a month or longer just to get the movement of a squat right. I mean, that's how.
I mean, a month is very fast.
Yeah, I'm probably being generous, and it might have been longer than that. But I remember feeling like, okay, I must be just horrible at this because it's taken so long for me to just even get the movements right. So yeah, no, I came here with zero experience, zero level of comfort, but I think I was able to tap into a lot of humility and learn, which I think is key. And your team is really great about making that easy. So
I hope so. We try to do that. I want to fast forward all the way to nearly present day.
Go.
And just kind of describe how I see you today. And let's go to the CASA Gala.
Okay.
And I'm on sites or off stage or side stage. What do they call that? Where the people are lining up.
Yes.
You're backstage. Backstage. Okay. So I'm backstage and I'm looking past the others that are about to go in front of me on stage. And you're already up there and you're doing your thing. And I'm watching you. And first of all, your silhouette is different than when it was a year ago. Okay. Yeah. It's not like you were some disaster a year ago.
It was not great. It was not great.
Okay.
It's not my best.
All right. So I'm looking up at this young woman who is absolutely beautiful and so razor sharp intellectually and relaxed and comfortable and funny. And you just felt like, as a listener, like you were on your A game. And I hadn't really seen you like that, to be honest. That you to me were always sharp and impressive, but this was like another level. And I've been to many galas before, and I've seen you speak in every single one of them. Yeah. And then I went out to my table after I did my little bit and sat down, and I continued to watch you speak, and I was so astounded at your mental acuity. And I don't know that you can see that yourself or experience it. Yeah. But as someone that's in a relationship with you on the board and around you a little bit periodically, it was startling. Yeah. And a beautiful thing to see you as a perimenopausal female. Absolutely. Who is so sharp, like a young woman.
That is, first of all, it's so nice to hear. So thank you for that, because I receive it and it's very nice to hear. But like,
I'm assuming you felt those things. You're out there, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I didn't feel those things even within the, less than a year before that. And so the journey over that past year, which really, I think it actually started in this room. It felt to me like a little bit of an intervention with some of the folks on the team. Absolutely necessary and timely. But that was the starting point for me jumping into the Stark naked competition and just changing a number of things in my life. My recommitment, I think, to the physical process here in the gym, but also, HRT,
for the listener, that's hormone replacement.
Yes. My diet, I stopped drinking. I was sleeping better. I mean, all of the things that I was really, really sort of dedicating myself to and being much more intentional about. It all came together and culminated in that moment right there to stop.
Yeah, that's how it felt to me too. I was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. Yeah. This is what we all as a team strive to accomplish. And women are much more complex. Women are not small men. Yeah. They're very, very different in such a beautiful way. But when women hit this part of life, the cycle of life, it's very hard to come out the other end like you are. And you'll never deviate at this stage because you've learned, how to handle it. You have plans and protocols and everything structured in such a way that you won't have to actually experience what so many women experience. It's so devastating. Yes. And it's so devastating, not just with body composition, which I think is the first thing that hits most women. They become fearful of the changes in their body. They feel their clothes fitting differently. Yes. But we also see with women passing into this stage of life, pretty significant changes in cardiovascular risk markers, right? Strength starts to decline. Hormones are fluctuating wildly. You can feel those too, right? You started to feel some first things.
100%.
Can you kind of describe what that feels like emotionally?
Well, it's really hard. I think that for a period of time, what I was finding myself saying to myself and to, the people close to me, I feel like a stranger in my own body. And certainly that was the physical component of my clothes not feeling differently, little things that I used to be able to do to kind of get back into a quick shape were not working, those quick little fixes. I think the mental acuity, brain fog.
Quick fixes, you mean like in the past, you go on vacation,
Yeah.
stop eating as much for a month.
Yeah. Those kinds of little things that you would do. And they might have been like exactly what I said, to the quick fix. That's not a permanent solution, but you know your body at some point well enough to know what you can and can't do to kind of get to do some of those things. None of those things were working. The mental acuity, my brain fog was becoming a real problem for me. It got to the bit where it felt like it was paralyzing. Feels like a strong word, but it was definitely emotionally devastating to feel like I'm forgetting very basic things, losing track of things, losing words. It still happens a little bit sometimes, which is very, very frustrating for me, but not nearly to the extent that it was before. Yeah, I think it was just really hard to not feel like myself.
That's such a hard thing for women. Men, I don't know that you know this, but men experience something called andropause. If you remember that term.
No, I'm not.
Andropause starts at like 31-ish. Okay. Think of your,
Yeah.
And it's a slow, steady decline. It's very civilized. It's so slow and steady over your husband's about your age, right?
He's a few years older than me.
Okay, so he's 20 years into andropause or 15 years into it, 15 plus.
Yeah.
It's so steady and slow, it's imperceptible. And then you start to realize as a male, I don't remember cookies or what's that person's name. And you just start getting better at like to-do lists. So you start building these structures around that enable you to continue to do your work and play your role in your family or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's manageable because it happens so slowly.
Yeah.
And then you start really falling apart as a male. You start putting belly fat on and feeling achy, like joint pain, things of that nature. And I remember having all those experiences as well. Women, it's different. You guys are performing at a high level, and all of a sudden you start crashing up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
And it's so fast that the experience is more profound on an emotional level.
100%.
And that's where you were.
100%. And it was
what is happening? Like Earth is Earth is moving beneath you.
The whole center of gravity felt off, and it felt like also have a general practitioner that I see, and as I would explain some of these things to her, I'm having trouble. My body feels different. I feel like I'm having trouble managing my weight the way that I used to. Some of these things, it's the solutions was. Or the suggested solution was, you just can't eat as much, or, you just need to kind of cut some of these things out, which I'm not dismissing that as certainly part of it. But it felt like these concerns were being minimized by a fellow woman in a practice where she's treating people of this, age range, or these surely can't be new issues for her, but it did feel like it was sort of one of these things that was being sort of minimized, and it was a number of things that were coming together. Joint pain certainly was becoming a factor for me. I remember having a situation where I was experiencing vertigo, and I had never experienced that before. I haven't experienced it since, but I've come to since learn that there are things that happen in perimenopause, like osteoporosis of the ear canal that can cause some of these things. I mean, the number of symptoms that are sort of unexplainable as they're occurring in your body and not historically relevant to who you are and what your symptoms look like suddenly start to happen, and I just didn't feel like I was getting a lot of great answers. So Dr. Alice has been talking to me about this experience probably since I started here on some level. My willingness and ability to hear it and understand it has changed over time. But she was the one who suggested the hormone replacement therapy. It has been by far the biggest game changer for me.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a brick wall between where you are and where you need to be in health for anyone, whether it's you're male or female.
Yeah.
But it's you understand the history of HRT a little bit at this stage.
A little bit. I'm sure there's a lot that I don't understand entirely, but I know it's controversial.
Well, it really was. I think that just 5 years ago it was highly controversial. 20 years ago, it was presumed to cause breast cancer.
Yes.
And so it stopped. And it was more than 20 years, 2002. Around the world, it stopped. And what replaced it was Prozac, SSRIs. Because as you were at the beginning stages, starting to experience the mental well-being issues associated with not having any sex hormones, or very low hormones, or fluctuations in hormones. And that's depression and anxiety. So you just imagine an entire generation of women being treated for symptoms associated with menopause with depression drugs.
Yes.
That's essentially what happened.
Yes. That makes sense.
And it's so sad because that sends off a bunch of metabolic issues, like diabetes and obesity, from the SSRIs themselves. And you can imagine being in that mental state that you experienced a little bit of at the beginning as you're passing through this stage of life that's already so scary.
Yeah.
And your body's shape is changing as well because of, in part, the SSRIs themselves.
Yeah.
Which is mind-blowing.
Yes.
And so there's like an entire generation that came before you that's really been devastated. And some of them still believe that that the medications that you're on are going to cause breast cancer, so they're fearful of them. And many of the doctors, many of the MDs that were passing through medical school at one time, they were not taught the things that they were needed to be taught in order to manage sex hormones to a limit. And so there are still a lot of medical practitioners that will look you in the eyes and say, don't do that, as they cause breast cancer.
Yes. And I definitely feel like that was part of the concern coming from my GP. Well, again, well-intentioned, is certainly well-educated, has a history of doing this work, but I didn't realize it at the time. She prescribed me actually, and for what she expected were my perimenopausal symptoms, birth control pills.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Which flies in the face of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly. And she could have told me I was taking a supplement, and I would have probably taken it, but I was not interested in taking that synthetic medication, so I was just not doing it. So I didn't understand that was meant to combat some of the symptoms. I know my brain fog was too strong that day, and I didn't pick it up, or she didn't explain it well. But B, I was just resistant to the idea of doing that. So, but as the symptoms worsened, I knew I needed to do something, and so this was a great option for me. I do know it's controversial. I do know that there are some folks that might still be worried or concerned about it. My own personal experience has been one that was really, really meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would describe it as literally an eye-opening experience. Like you feel like your eyes are open.
Yes.
You feel, or rather, like a veil has been lifted, and you see how blue the sky is even.
That is.
But you can think clearly.
Yes, it is so accurate.
You are optimistic and enthusiastic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, all of the things.
And when you start to understand the way the cell membranes work and the way the hormones enter into the center of the cell, and what happens if the cell itself is empty, how you perform just completely falls through the floor, and when they're present, it makes total sense why every part of your body, whether it's your brain or your muscle tissue or really anywhere, starts to function well, because they actually have what is needed to do their jobs.
Yes.
And you're sort of starving for those things as your body stops producing your own sex hormones.
Yeah.
We're essentially outstripping or outliving our hormones.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild to think about. I mean, it's wild even just to consider that I had, serious joint pain. And in fact, I had a tear in my elbow that was limiting my ability to do certain things here in the gym. As I transitioned onto this treatment plan with HRT, and then changing my diet, participating in Stark, chronic pain that I was having from a tear. I mean, I never had surgery. I didn't do anything to repair it. I don't have it anymore. It's wild.
Well, I mean, that's what youth is, right? Remember,
Yeah.
When you would
Yeah.
injure yourself you said you're a dancer when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
You had a knee injury or ankle or something, you would recover in a couple of days or a week or
Yeah.
whatever, something fast. And that's because you have today what you had back then.
Yeah.
You're just able to bounce back.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. It's basically it's youth.
Yeah.
It's you get this another crack at having or being youthful, but you don't have to give up your experience and your wisdom.
Yeah.
And so I don't know about you, but for me, it's almost better than being young.
It is, because you have the perspective and the wisdom and all the things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful to be a part of this time right now where I feel like there's a lot of discussion around this.
Mm-hmm.
It feels to me like it's a pretty common topic. It's not as stigmatized as perhaps it once was.
Yeah.
And it does feel like there's a bit of a movement around this now. I feel very grateful to be able to be a part of what so many women missed out on, I suppose.
Yeah, it's really quite
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
That's our generation. You've received nutrition plans for yeah.
Yes.
And suddenly you were able to stick to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two elements in there, right? There's
That's
competition and a deadline.
Yeah.
So that's very helpful.
That's
for
very
humans.
helpful for humans.
It's a community moving in a direction where you're competing
Yes.
is helpful.
Yes.
But then there is also, I see this from the outside. Maybe this is what is actually going on the inside. A level of belief that it was actually going to work, and that's specifically a hormonal impact.
Maybe it's entirely possible that what you're saying is accurate. I don't know that I experienced it that way, but it does make sense reflecting back on it, because the point at which I made the decision after many years of being invited into the process and to consider doing it and being, just frankly scared and too scared to consider doing it. I felt a sense of, I don't think it was just that I felt brave or courageous. That is part of it. And maybe that's part of where the hormones come from. But I think it was just feeling like I needed to do something. I had to really, what I was doing was not working. And I needed to be really honest with myself that I have a discipline problem. And I needed to level up my commitment to the things that are being shared with me as a way of improving outcomes for myself. So I think that's where maybe the first decision came from, was what you're doing isn't working. You don't want to go on the birth control. You don't want to, some of these other things that had been suggested. You just need to work harder and you need to get past this. The bravery, it was real too. Maybe the hormones did actually help that, because I did start them, I want to say in October. And the contest, the real commitment for me started in December, right after the holidays. So yeah, it's entirely possible. But I think my frame of mind was already there. I was ready.
The timing was right. Yeah.
Yeah. The timing was just right. I needed to push myself in a new way. I needed to do something different. Mm-hmm. And then daily commitment to it. Frankly, if I'm being really honest, I think like most things that I've experienced in my life, it's always scarier when you think about it than when you actually just do it.
Yeah. In general, I would say that's the case for just about everyone.
Yeah. And I had this big story in my head about I can't do it. I have too many kids and too many responsibilities, and I got to take care of everybody else. I could find a million reasons why I shouldn't be doing this. I can't take that picture at the end because I lead this organization and it won't be a good look for me to be, trying to show off my physique. There's a million reasons. I was the queen of excuses. But once I really decided to go for it, what I think the most surprised by was that it was actually a lot easier to stay with it than I expected, because I felt so good so quickly.
And you have stayed with it.
I have mainly stayed with it. I did, I was not quite as disciplined over the summer, I will say. But
Well, what does that mean?
What does that mean? It means that I would have an occasional cocktail.
Do you feel like that's affecting you?
No, it hasn't. But I do generally think I feel better when I'm not drinking. So, yeah. Great. So I've also learned that, and I'm not doing it.
I eat ice cream sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And you know that when you do, you're making the choice to.
And I feel it. And I'm like, this is why I don't do it that often.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So no, I get you're right. I have maintained a level of commitment to myself and to the process that I think I won't ever lose. But I also think that I want to continue to push myself to do more to kind of get to the next place. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you're just within arm's reach of
yeah,
this place, and you can have it anytime you want.
yeah.
I think just to provide some of my perspective on
Mhm.
your changes, and having a drink periodically or whatever, the the experience of being healthy for decades is not through the process of heavy discipline and giving everything out.
Yes.
It's just
Right.
changing the ratio,
Yes.
the frequency. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that I have given up for the rest of my life
Yes.
than any other American. Like
Yeah.
if you threw a Twinkie in front of me right now, and you paid me $5, I would eat it right here in front of the camera. And I know that it would have no impact on me whatsoever. I might have a little headache by noon,
Yeah.
but just for the fun of it, I would eat that Twinkie. Just feel how
You
they
could
go.
pay me to eat a Twinkie.
It's pretty dirty. It's pretty dirty. But my point is that there's no complete sacrifices. There is just a change in the frequency or the ratios, or like, I eat all the food I want, but I eat way more protein than I ever have.
Yes.
I drink periodically, but I drink way less frequently. I love ice cream, but I eat it way less frequently than I would. And I have systems in place to make it a little bit more difficult to have access to those things when I'm the most tired.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And,
Yeah.
like you, I'm much more active.
Hmm.
So I'm sure just in
Hmm.
general that you're more active.
I am.
You find ways to squeeze in a little walk here and there with coworkers or family
Yes.
members or whatever, right?
I'm the mom at water polo practice or whatever practice that's walking around while I'm waiting. So
See, these are not giant
no,
sacrifices.
no.
They seem arduous when you put them all together in a basket, but when you start tackling them one by one and you make them permanent changes in your life, and you find creative ways to introduce them to all the roles that you play,
Yeah,
it kind of becomes effortless.
100%.
And that's the point you need to be at. And periodically, if you want to get a 2-pack or something for a family photo or whatever,
Yeah.
those are just for the fun of it, really.
Yeah.
Everything else is in line, ready for you to do whatever you want to do. If you want to do, I don't know if you ever done a pull up before. You ever done a pull up?
Not without assist.
I mean,
Okay.
maybe that's a goal at some point. It's one of the most gratifying experiences that I've ever had at Start is watching a female do her first pull.
Wow.
They almost look like they're about to burst into tears
Yeah.
with excitement.
Yeah.
And it's a sense of empowerment that many women don't have. And these are little tiny changes
Yes.
to your goals or your training programs or your sleep schedule or the food that you eat or whatever else. They're small now. You're like, you're far enough
Yeah.
to just be where you are
Uh-huh.
for the rest of your life and not age like your parents have, and keep all the elements of your youth that you want to hold on to
100%.
and let go of the things that you don't want,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
immaturity and bad decision
Yes.
making and things like that. And you
Yes.
just get rid of those and you keep all the good ones.
Yeah.
It's a fun position.
And again, I think one thing that I've said since the beginning of my tenure is you don't know that you feel bad until you feel better.
Yeah.
And I mean, I learned that over the course of the years with eliminating certain foods, participating in this experience with Stark. Naked certainly was part of that. And it's interesting because I used to tease some of the trainers and coaches that I've worked with over the years, about Grace gets some kind of like an incentive if I hit a PR or something because they want so hard for me to do the pull up or to do the, I'm not trying to win. I keep telling them I'm not trying to win any contests. I'm just trying to do the things. But as a result of going through this experience with Stark, I've been telling Eunice now, my goal is like, I just want to get stronger. I do want to get stronger. I've never had the experience of, I need to, or I would like to have the satisfaction of completing a pull up unassisted. That is something that I think could absolutely be a goal for me at this point. I just want to get stronger.
I would love to see that. I mean, I don't want to put my goals on you.
No.
So you have to come up with that stuff yourself. But it's a good idea to have a thing that you're periodically stretching for. Nothing too stressful, nothing that throws big curveballs into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
but have it be a part of you do it professionally, you do it within your family, you communicate to your kids about such things, accomplishing things, um, having some element of that in your health journey as well is an important feature.
Yeah, I think learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable and putting yourself through many challenges in order to accomplish something is a really important part of life, and something that I never want to stop having the courage to do. So, and I certainly want that for my kids. And I think so many wonderful things in life are on the other side of tapping into that discomfort and being brave. So,
Yeah, I'm proud of you. And here's the point of the whole interview.
yeah.
You're an inspiration for others. Thank you for doing this for all women of your age. Thank you for doing for your family, for CASA, for all of the communities that you touch, that you're in. You are influencing them just by doing what you do. And I think it's a very, very important point of influence, especially when you consider the state of Americans and our health.
Yeah.
And so you are a shining star and still rising. And it's really exciting to see. So thanks for spending the time with me.
Well, thank you. I will get emotional if I talk about it too much. I have you to thank for that, because again, I would never have sought an experience like this out for myself. I wouldn't found a million reasons why I could. I tried to find a million reasons why I couldn't even, accept the scholarship that you offered me at the start of this whole journey. And that you, wanted to sort of access the leader of an organization to ensure that there was a trickle down effect. I can't tell you how many times I reflected on that gift to know that when things got tough as I was leaving the organization, had I not had this, had I not learned how to tap into something strong within me, I don't know that I would have had the staying power. So there is something so real about taking care of yourself so that you can take care of other people and the things around you. So all of the things that you're identifying and highlighting are really just a mirror shining back at you, because I'm here because of that gift that you gave me. So thank you. And now it's something I will never not do. I just can't imagine not having this in my life and not focusing on being strong and taking care of myself. You are a gift. So thank you. It's really, really special. It's really special. So, and I think it's been a great influence for my family, a great influence for those around me. And certainly I feel very, very proud.
Thank you for sharing your story. If our listeners want to find CASA and make a giant donation, how do they feel?
Love that. Certainly find us online at casaoc.org. And if you want to volunteer your time and become an advocate and a mentor for a vulnerable child, a child in foster care, we would love and welcome that gift as well. There's lots of different ways to get involved.
And those chapters all around the U.S.
There are, yes, and every there are 44 in the state of California alone. But yes, we are in every jurisdiction for juvenile court.
Okay. So maybe, and just a quick blurb on what CASA does.
Yes, so we recruit and train and coach community volunteers, everyday citizens who would like to be a mentor and an advocate for a child in the foster care system. We're empowered by the court system to be a part of these proceedings, otherwise confidential proceedings. The fact that the court welcomes in lay people to their system and allows our volunteers to make recommendations, to provide reports, to share insight about what's happening with these children and what they need is remarkable. It's an absolute privilege. And it's absolutely changing the trajectory of children's lives. They're in crisis. These are children that have typically been removed from their home of origin because of abuse, neglect, or abandonment. And as the court works to try to either reunify the family safely or find other ways for the child to be safe in another environment, time passes and children have needs, and sometimes those get kind of lost in the frag. So these volunteers are really, really committed to making sure that these children get what they need, and the judges really, really appreciate the insight and perspective.
And one quick stat on graduation rates for.
Oh my gosh, this one's the best. So in the state of California, I will say the foster care population touts about a 50% graduation rate. So 50% of kids in the foster care system in the state of California are likely to graduate from college, from high school. They have a CASA, it jumps to 96%. And it's remarkable. Just the sheer act of showing up is extraordinary, and it really makes a difference when these children feel that someone cares, that what they do matters, that we can access resources that will help them. The number of kids that we have going to college this year is the highest I've seen in years. I mean, we're working with a young man right now who's trying to go to Stanford. It's amazing, unbelievable, and so inspiring. Another, if I may share a stat that we just got out of a survey that we've been doing over the past couple of years, is that 90% of the youth that were surveyed have family that were part of the criminal justice system. 3% of the kids have any kind of interaction with law enforcement. So we're breaking cycles.
Wow. Yeah.
We're breaking intergenerational cycles of abuse, neglect, abandonment, and also criminal activity. It's unbelievable. So we're really, really proud of interrupting the cycle and trying to create a new stream of independent, self-sufficient, contributing members of society. Because once these children are done with the system, they're out there in the community with the rest of us. So we view this as a form of early intervention.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And your support and involvement has been wonderful. And the perspective that you've shared with our team, with our staff, we've learned so much from you. Our culture has benefited so much from having you participate. What you've created here with your team has been really enlightening for me to watch and observe. So thank you for teaching me in many ways.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us, everyone. If you like today's podcast, you can find more at start.health. That's start.health.